Speaking of games every week, and now on Wednesdays, will the Christmas Day games be an inferior product because of the timing? Will the NFL bring them back next year? Christmas falls on a Thursday in 2026.
I guess it depends on what you're looking for in the product. Are you looking for low-scoring games? Are you a Mike Tomlin type guy, or are you a Ben Johnson type guy? I would imagine, just like any game where you have less time to prepare, and what is it, 4 games, 11 days, 3 games, 11 days for the Kansas City Chiefs. It'll never be as clean as you want, but football fans want to see football. So ugly or beautiful, we're going to have something to clap about and something to drink a beer and watch with our buddies, and be thankful during the holidays that we get more football. I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to.
I think if the NFL had their way, they play every damn day of the week. I mean, I really believe that. And you know, it's funny. We were watching the games on Sunday, and the Steelers and Chiefs were issuing practice reports. I mean, injury reports, you know. And
during the game, yeah.
Yeah. So Sunday for their Wednesday game, they're putting out an injury. So is it too much? Does the NFL have to be careful of doing too much? For now, the answer to that is no.
Okay, wait.
At some point, it might get to that point.
I floated this out on the CBS Sports Network show yesterday, but I don't think that goes to the pod channel. So I wanted to float it out here too and get actually your take on this, Pete. What do you think of my conspiracy theory that the NFL scheduled the 4 teams that played from Saturday to Christmas are all AFC teams, and pretty much all contenders in the AFC. It's the Texans, it's the Steelers, it's the Ravens, it's the Chiefs. That the NFL wanted to give the Bills and the Bengals and the Jets the easiest path in the playoffs. And like 2 weeks before the playoffs start, the easiest path possible in the playoffs. So they took 4 of their biggest competitors away, not away, but like gave them this gauntlet that they have to go through that is going to be difficult on their body and is not going to have enough time to recover to get them back to playoff shape. Should it be?
Well, so the NFL doesn't want the story of the three-peat?
They want, I mean, a Bills Super Bowl would be better for the NFL than a Chiefs three-peat in terms of fandom. Dominance in the NFL does not breed.
I agree. They want parity. They want new people wearing the crown.
They want parity for the regular season, but the story of going for the three-peat is come on.
That's good for that's three-peat's great for sports writers like you.
People hated the Patriots. People were so bored with the New England Patriots. People didn't want to see that. They wanted a new.
They like the Chiefs. They're a fun little. They're fun.
Go talk to Pete. I'm telling you, people hate the Chiefs.
No,
people cannot stand the Chiefs.
Michael Jordan going for a three-peat is a better story.
But the NBA is more of a personality-driven league than the NFL, where its fan bases are loyal to teams.
Their personalities. Taylor Swift. They want the Chiefs.
You just named all the reasons that people hate them.
We've seen the NBA numbers. You don't want to go the NBA route. You want to focus on the teams, the franchises, to be the premier in the NFL.
With you. But you make a point that the Bills being sitting on the sideline have a major advantage. I mean, I don't think the Jets are taking advantage of it, and Bengals probably aren't either as their season went out. But the Bills have an advantage not playing 3 and 11 days. But they will play on Thursday next year. They play on Thursday. They will have Christmas Day games, and you know what? They might have 3. They might have 3 that day, 2 in a day and 1 at night, like they always do.
All right, next topic: will we see another stumble bum type trick play out of the Lions this season, Pete?
Okay. Everybody loved that play. I'm on the other side of that play.
Oh, of course you are.
Well, the play would have worked whether he stumbled or not. It was the tight end leak. It works all the time. If you get the right defense, it works every single time. You didn't need that. What if he stumbled and he truly fell down? It's a sack. He ain't getting up and making that play.
That's why you practice it.
Yeah, I don't. What's the point of it? What's the point of it?
To be like, I'm Ben Johnson. Check this shit out.
So every single time he stumbles now, oh, here comes that trick play. Look, just at some point, he just play football. That play works whether he stumbles or not. It was a great play call. He didn't need to stumble. And here's the other part of it. Why'd you show it in that moment? To give everybody
that was wild to me.
Prepare for it.
Now they throw out trick plays on a weekly basis, and they kind of do willy-nilly. It's not, like the Penny Sewell throwbacks like at the end of the game. So they do random stuff. They probably have a bag of tricks still up their
It
sleeve.
takes away time from that defensive meeting where you could be spent focusing on their base personnel and base offense when you have to worry about, and if they do this, and if they do this, and then also watch him, it takes your eyes elsewhere. It takes your focus away from playing that game.
The whole play is the tight end leaking out. It isn't a stumble.
Yeah, I mean, that's a staple of their offense, of the wide leak. But this just another way of getting into it and another way of dressing it up that I do think it – I mean, I think it matters. You saw the eyes of the corner on that side. He was staring in the backfield. Would he have been on a token fake? I don't know.
No.
And sometimes you hear that roar of the crowd. And when they were in Chicago, you get to stumble. People go,
it is a great
people start looking back there. Next thing you know, bombs over Baghdad.
That's not a home field play. That's a road because of
that's
a great point.
I think at times we're getting a little too gimmicky. That's me. But the lonely end is coming, and all the other plays. Wishbone coming soon. 3 plays in a row on the goal line. We'll run the veer. We'll get that. We'll get my dad's single wing out again. My dad
wing
played the single wing. No, he played the single wing. They didn't have a quarterback. Just single wing. I mean, look, there's so many things. I get it. But ultimately, that play came down to football. It was the tight end leaked out. Nobody covered him. It was going to be open no matter what.
Well, I definitely think that there will be more trick plays, and it doesn't have to be the stumble bomb. I think that Ben Johnson now has made it throughout the season where they don't need these trick plays because they've beaten the hell out of people offensively. Now you get to the playoffs. It's where the real wizardry happens. This is where the Jedi mind tricks happen, and Ben Johnson has a lightsaber. So I'm excited to see what the Lions are going to do.
Now, we talked about this one a little bit earlier, but so we can keep it tight. Will the Cowboys run it back with Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer after a strong push to end the season?
Yes, I think they will. And not losing your quarterback gives them an out in that.
Does.
So, yes, I do. And I don't think Jerry Jones wants to fire Mike McCarthy. And I think Mike McCarthy's a better coach than he gets credit for.
What about Zimmer?
Mike Zimmer is stubborn. That's his problem. I think he's too stubborn. And he's been that way for a long time. I know Mike for a long time, he's stubborn. And he doesn't change. And I think sometimes you got to put new wrinkles into that thing. And he was always reluctant to do it in Minnesota. So
here's the problem with Mike Zimmer. I haven't been in the league in like 5 years. I could go out there, not watch any film, not have any meetings, and I would say, Mike left, squeeze right. Mike right, squeeze left. Watch cross dog. And we're going to go out there and we're going to pound the rock. And on third down, I'm going to know exactly what's coming. It's not like that Brian Flores defense where there's 8 guys. It's like double A mug versus like a quadruple line mug. What is the flavor right now? To your point, Zimmer, I don't know if he's stubborn, but I would say he hasn't taken that defense to the next phase of X's and O's.
All right. Next one. Did CJ Gardner-Johnson deserve to be ejected?
He got punched.
Yeah, no, he did not.
So, I think ejections mid-game are idiotic. I think it's against the NFL. It should only be for true plays outside the realm of sport that border into assaults.
Like trying to hurt somebody.
Yes, border into like litigation, like legal action. Right. That's when it's – but if it's in the moment of the game, and the 2 taunting rule is the dumbest thing. If I have a guy who's already taunted twice – I want him out there as the opposing team so he can do it a third time. If he's dumb enough to do it twice,
keep giving us yards.
Give me the third one. So in that specific one, though, I do think we didn't see exactly because you could tell by the ref's reaction. He immediately goes CJ Gardner-Johnson. And CJ Gardner-Johnson was the instigator. And if our goal is to flag the instigator, he was it in that situation. So I saw
Deion Dawkins get punched in the balls the other day. So it's like, we calling everything, or we just
exactly.
I'm a firm believer in letting guys jaw a little bit, letting guys rub face masks a little bit after the play. It's a big part of football. It's a huge part of football. There's the game, and then there's the game within the game. And some guys elect to not be part of that game within the game, and some guys are all about it. CJ Gardner-Johnson historically has been about that game. And these referees, the guys with the stripes, they have a list of guys who they know are going to be playing that game. And they say, if you see anything, just err on the side of CJ Gardner-Johnson. And that's what happened.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny you mentioned the jawing part of it, getting in a guy's face. None of that bothers me. But you know what does bother me? When a guy, his team is down by 25 points and he makes a play on a ball in the secondary and jumps up like he's done something great and celebrates it. You know what I always used to do? I always go like this. You point to the scoreboard. Take a peek,
Yep.
buddy. Take a peek. I mean, those kind of things bother me. Jawing doesn't bother me. And never, and believe me, I'd be a guy that would do a lot of jawing if I was in the league.
Oh, we know, Pete.
I'd have to back your ass up. I'd have to
Yeah.
be like, Pete, get out of there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't stop, and so I have no problem with that. I'm with you though, Mike. You cross the line when you try and hurt somebody. If then you got to go. Then you got to go. Like
If you're stomping a guy's leg like Sue in Detroit,
Yes.
or you put your fingers in their eyeballs and try and gouge them out or something,
or cutting a guy from behind.
Yes, then you got to go. You got to go.
Yes.
But if
All
we're
right.
out there playing backyard, holiday football with our boys, like let the dogs rub their heads a little bit.
Yeah.
Let them get pissed off.
Of course.
Yes, I agree. All right. True or false? The Raiders' meaningless win cost them a shot at the top 2 QBs in the draft.
True. Say goodnight to no. I mean, why the hell did anybody not get down on the hey, time to let him score. Let him score.
Yeah.
Mac Jones in the game. It's 4th down, but let him score. I mean, Mac Jones would have checked it down anyway, so it didn't matter. It was 4th and 12, and he checked it down. So, yes, I think they did blow their opportunity.
Leave it to the Raiders.
I mean, what do you do now? Because you figure if it's New England's not going to take a quarterback, though. So if New England's number 2, they could trade out of there. If Tennessee's at number 2, they're going to take one. If Jacksonville's at number 2, they're going to trade out of there. So there is still a chance to go up if it's not one of the teams that needs a quarterback. Correct?
That's a gamble.
Yes.
But now you're competing with other people for that too.
So they didn't necessarily get themselves out of it completely, but they will not be drafting 2 organically. It's the Giants' schedule. They have the Colts and the Eagles. They're not winning another game. The Patriots have the Chargers and the Bills. They're not winning another game.
Well, the Bills might rest the last game.
True.
And the Eagles might just say, F the Giants. And let them win the game.
Right.
Then they don't get their quarterback.
The Eagles might not need the game either.
Browns
Right?
play
And
Dolphins.
Saquon
Ravens.
may say, hey, Nick, I don't want this record. I want to punish the New York Giants.
Here's the other thing, though. The Raiders play the Saints this week. Saints did not look good. Saints did not look good, and they're starting a back quarterback. So that one could be a toss-up as well.
Yeah,
so
the Raiders are going to have. The Raiders want a quarterback. They're going to have to go make a move to go get one. If they want one of those 2 guys.
And trust me when I say that Tom Brady isn't going to wait around to see what the draft order is and all this stuff. He has already indicated to Mark Davis, in my opinion, who he would want to be the quarterback.
And who do you think it is?
I don't know. I mean, I never played quarterback, but I would imagine the GOAT is very, very set in his ways about his opinions about head coach and
What about this one? The Vikings decide to keep Sam Darnold, pay him, and trade J.J. McCarthy to the Raiders, who's a Michigan man and a Michigan man.
I mean, Pete could be onto something.
I'd be curious to see. I don't think they would do it. I don't think the Vikings would do it. Truthfully.
Well, the Vikings don't have any assets anymore. They traded them last year in the draft. Right? They traded up to get Dallas Turner, and they traded up to get J.J. McCarthy. So they don't have any assets. They have no. So why not, if you really believe Sam Darnold is your guy, and remember, they drafted J.J. McCarthy last year not knowing Sam Darnold was this guy. So now you find out he's this guy. You pay him. You keep him. He's happy. You're happy. You trade J.J. McCarthy. You get all these assets back.
I'm intrigued.
The old switcheroo, dude.
And from Raiders' perspective, that would probably be preferable to the assets they'd have to give up to getting back in this quarterback class.
Right. And if you compared J.J. McCarthy to these 2 quarterbacks, I don't love J.J. McCarthy, but I'm also not 100% in love with these 2. So it makes sense. I fixed it. I fixed the Raiders. No more.
All right.
That's awesome. So who's the coach? Commitment
to excrement.
Who's the coach?
Mike Vrabel? Brady buddy.
Yeah, he is.
Discipline. Get an offensive guy in there with him. Good. Now it couldn't be. There's rumors that where he goes, he might take McDaniels. It couldn't be McDaniels. We know that can't happen because of the rate. But somebody get the right offensive guy. You guys like I'll fix the Raiders.
I like
Mojal
Mojal in the chat just said Liam Cohen would be a good fit for the Raiders. I agree with that.
As a head coach.
That would be a nice
as a head coach. But don't you think though, a guy with some Brady wants a guy that has, he might know Liam Cohen from the league, but he wants his guy in there. And Vrabel's going to command respect.
He wants John Taffer from Bar Rescue to come in and go, the mozzarella sticks are taking way too damn long.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
Bingo.
I think Taffer would be a better coach than Antonio Pierce. I think he could handle that locker room.
Wow. He went there.
Love John Taffer. That guy, I would, if he had his own religion, I would be a Taffer, right? He's the man.
I like that.